और विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस को लेकर यह बड़ी जानकारी इस वक्त सामने आ रही है। पीओके को पाकिस्तान खाली करे, ये विदेश मंत्रालय की तरफ से कहा गया है। 10 मई की सुबह पाक एयरवेज को तबाह किया। द्विपक्षीय तरीके से सभी मामले हल होंगे, ये मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स की तरफ से कहा गया है। विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई है, ये बड़ी खबर आपको दे रहे हैं इस वक्त। विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस से जुड़ी ये बड़ी बातें।
Perhaps be in the knowledge of it that we have been pursuing listing of TRF in the United Nations by the United Nations Security Council by the Sanctions Committee, UNSC 1267 Sanctions Committee. I'm not privy to what was shared 2 hours back, but for sure we'll update you on as to how the investigation progresses in this matter. MEA on UNSC 1267 Sanctions Committee. Yes, over the last 2 years or so, 23, 24, we have been sharing information with the United Nations Security Council, the monitoring team of the Sanctions Committee, as to why the terrorist TRF, which is the front for Lashkar-e-Taiba, should be listed as a terrorist entity. We will be also, in few days' time, we will be sharing more details in this regard, and hopefully Security Council 1267 monitoring team will take strong note of what we present, what we file, and take due action against that is required. Rishabh, on your question regarding the interview that the Pak Foreign Minister gave. In the last week, as a result of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan has seen its terror centers in Bahawalpur, Murudke, Muzaffarabad, and other places destroyed. You have been informed of it in several of the briefings that we've had. Thereafter, its military capabilities were significantly degraded by us, and key air bases effectively put out of action. If the Pakistani FM wishes to project these as achievement, obviously he is welcome to do so. Where India is concerned, our stand was very clear and consistent from the start. We would target terrorist infrastructure operating out of Pakistan. If the Pakistani military stayed out, there would be no problem. If they fired on us, we would respond suitably. Till the night of 9th May, Pakistan was threatening India with a massive assault. Once their attempt failed on 10th May morning, and they received a devastating Indian counter response, their tune changed, and their DGMO eventually reached out to us. I just referred to the timings, etc., as to when they reached out. In essence, India's position remained the same. Pakistan's position changed on 10th May morning after its air bases were effectively put out of action. All you have to do is to look at who called who to negotiate the terms of the cessation of firing. By the way, we are living in a day and age where you have satellite pictures available commercially. I urge you to look at the satellite pictures of the sites which Pakistan says or claims to have attacked in India. Contrast it with the sites and places which we successfully targeted and destroyed. That will give you a clear answer. Claiming victory is an old habit. 1975 की बात यही थी, 71 की बात यही रही, 1999 करगिल वॉर में भी यही राग आलापा। तो पाकिस्तान का तो पुराना ये उनका ढोल बजाने का है, जो रवैया है, आलापने का रवैया है, ढोल बहुत पुराना है। परस्त हो जाओ लेकिन ढोल बजाओ। Rishabh, you also had a question regarding On that, I think there are 2-3 things there. There's talk of some. We saw some social media post about Egyptian, American aircraft, etc. But those questions are for them to answer, not for us. But on the nuclear, we in the defense briefing, if you remember, our side made things very clear as to what was the target, etc. As far as your particular question, I think the Pak foreign minister also has made some comments on that. Manas, about nuclear issue that you pointed out. See, the military action from our side was entirely in the conventional domain. This was also made very clear in the defense briefing yesterday. There were some questions also which were asked. There were some reports, however, that Pakistan National Command Authority will meet on 10th May, which we saw, but this was later denied by them. Pakistan FM has himself denied the nuclear angle on record. So, Rishabh, that also answers your question. As you know, India has a firm stance that it will not give in to nuclear blackmail or allow cross-border terrorism to be conducted invoking it. In conversations with various countries, we have also cautioned that their subscribing to such scenarios could hurt them in their own region. Can we take more questions? Okay. There.
Good evening, sir. Haryana from Sputnik, sir. Just a clarification. Secretary Marco Rubio tweeted that India and Pakistan had agreed to ceasefire as well as start talks on a broad range of issues at a neutral site. So would it be possible to get a clarification on this if we agreed to that? And sir, the second question is about India-US trade talks. India has formally notified the WTO proposing retaliatory tariffs against select US imports over Washington's tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. Would it be possible to get a clarification on this? And does it affect India's negotiating position vis-a-vis the bilateral trade agreement? Thank you.
Okay, Smita.
Smita Sharma here. I mean, the US State Department actually in the press statement of 10th May, it was in bold and headline that mentioned US brokered ceasefire between India and Pakistan. I'm just trying to understand if New Delhi actually rejected it outrightly, raised it with Washington DC then, that this framing was incorrect, or is it only now that India is making it clear that there was no US role in it? And just a quick question on whether there's any update on PK Sahu, the BSF constable, who has been in Pakistan captivity for more than 20 days now. Or he's been arrested there because he never crossed.
Suhasini.
Mr. Jaiswal, this is Suhasini Heather from The Hindu. In continuation to Smita's question about whether India has raised with the US these clearly what you are calling false statements made by US President Donald Trump, that India did not broker, the US did not broker a ceasefire, that trade was not discussed. These are
तो विदेश मंत्रालय के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस को आप सुन रहे थे। और पीओके को खाली करे पाकिस्तान, ये बात विदेश मंत्रालय की ओर से कही गई है। 10 मई की सुबह पाक के एयरबेस को हमने तबाह किया। आज विदेश मंत्रालय ने भी इस बात को कहा है और द्विपक्षीय तरीके से ही सभी मामले हल होंगे, ये बात MEA की ओर से कही गई। तो एयरबेस तबाह होने के बाद पाकिस्तान के सुर बदले हैं और हारने पर भी पाकिस्तान जश्न मनाता है, ये उसकी पुरानी आदत रही है। आज विदेश मंत्रालय की ओर से प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में इस बात को कहा गया। बड़ी बात यह कही गई कि सिंधु जल समझौता जो है उसको रद्द ही रखा जाएगा और तीसरे पक्ष का कोई दखल किसी भी मामले में मंजूर नहीं है, ये भी आज विदेश मंत्रालय ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है। खासतौर से J&K को लेकर के तीसरा पक्ष दखल न दे, सिंधु जल समझौता सस्पेंड रहेगा।